Good morning. You're a little bit late today. We started out yesterday morning. We'll fill you in, though, on what went on. This is the second day of our Dream of a Lifetime trip. We're in on a little campground between Nebraska and Iowa, just a little bit east of Lincoln. Last night from about 11 o'clock local time, 10 o'clock Utah time, and we're just about to have our breakfast. After breakfast, we'll fill you in on where we went yesterday and give you a little tour of the campground. Okay, we're through with breakfast now. Yesterday morning we left home at, what time was it, Sharla?
5:50 a.m.
We left Salt Lake and we took Interstate 80 across Wyoming, and just shortly after entering Nebraska here, we saw a herd of buffalo and drove clear across Nebraska. Can you see Lincoln? Oh, there's Lincoln down here. We are camping now just between Lincoln and Iowa border, and a little later today we'll travel across Iowa and end up in Nauvoo, Illinois, down here. Now we'll show you a little bit of this campground and we'll get underway. Of course, it was dark last night when we came in and we couldn't see any of this. So your first look will be our first look. We see a pretty little bridge right over this way. And let's go over there, Sharla.
Okay, we're rolling here.
I'm not sure we want to go in here. It says pet area. Are we too old?
What?
A mosquito was biting you and you scratched.
I know. Well, it's Mosquito Village here.
Well, honey, let's go in and pet.
Pet. Pet? Is that what that says?
Pet area.
Okay. It's Uncle Jerry on the troll bridge. Yep.
His eyes.
And there's the mosquito breeding ground.
A lot of mosquitoes out today. Probably too many, in fact, to make it really enjoyable. Okay, we're going to pack up now and be on our road. See you a little later. Bye, Shar.
Bye.
Well, we just finished packing up the trailer, or the van, and moving off. This table is where our van was parked. I need to clear up a misconception from the last scene. What I said to my wife as we walked across the bridge was not, let's go pet. It was, let's go pet. Got to keep this show clean. This the rather small little camping area in this campground, the trailer area actually, but it's an extensive park. It goes beyond the swimming pool here to those trailers in the background, and then up the hill to another little lake area. Maybe we'll drive around that way in a minute if we depends on what time we have when Sharla gets out of the showers. Looks like they've got some little rental units up that hill over this way. I think in the summertime this would be a real fun place to take the family. Well, looks like Sharla's here now, so we'll
Okay.
look at the size of this rig on the right.
Whoa, this is bumpy.
A little bumpy. Actually, this place is a lot bigger than it looks as you pull in, doesn't it? Isn't it,
A
Sharla?
lot bigger.
Well, we're at the top of that little hill that we were just climbing a moment ago. And this is the little lake at the top. And looking down towards the campground from the top of the ridge. I think we better get on our way to Nauvoo, Illinois now. What was that?
I ate my first catfish.
And how was it?
It was wonderful.
Where are we, honey?
We're in Ottawa, Iowa.
Ottawa, Iowa. Just on the border. No, we're about 50 miles from the border to go into Nauvoo. Let me show you this little place that we're at here. Well, we're now in Eldon, Iowa, just a few miles down Route 16 after we had our dinner. What you're seeing now is the famous American Gothic house from the painting. Who was the artist that did that, Sharla?
I don't know.
Oh, we'll walk up and find out.
I need a pitchfork.
Yeah, I think somewhere around here there's some pitchforks. What do you think?
Oh, it looks Gothic. Turn it off. This is Jerry in front of the American Gothic house. We looked around, but we can't find a pitchfork anywhere.
I guess they're in the process of scraping and painting to restore it. Well, we got about another 50 miles to go before we get to Nauvoo. So, off we go.
Coming up on the bridge that's going to cross over the Mississippi River. What city are we in, Jerry?
Keokuk,
Iowa.
Get that sign right.
What sign?
Mississippi River sign.
Oh, okay. Here we go over the bridge. Monday evening, about 5:40 p.m. on September 21st. There we go. There's past the lights. Still can't see both sides of it. Oh, we got a toll bridge. That's okay. Good.
Shine down there.
I did. Do you want this
That's Nauvoo over to the right.
over here? It's not
So
very.
far to the right.
We're approaching that in 9 miles.
Well, we arrived here about 5 minutes ago and found out that it closed an hour ago. So we'll be staying here in town and coming back in the morning. Behind the visitor center is the Relief Society garden with the statues. Sharla's around here somewhere, see if she can find a guide to give us some directions. This is the entrance way into the Relief Society gardens. It's been kind of a misty, foggy, overcast day all day. Beautiful ride on the backcountry roads down through Iowa and across the river into Illinois. Last time I was here was just over 20 years ago when Darlene was a baby. Of course, all of this has been added since then. Be interesting to see just how things have changed in that period. There's Sharla over there. Looks like she's found some new friends. Have to go over and meet them.
And it shows hotels and everything.
Were you able to go inside?
No, they're from Pleasant Grove, Utah.
Well, we're at a motel in Keokuk.
Keokuk, Iowa.
Yeah, I think I said Keokuk in one of the last scenes where we were, but it was Fort Madison that we were at, where we crossed the river. Like some cold water. We drove into Nauvoo and got there right after the visitor center closed. We met one of the guides who gave us some ideas on where the motels were. They had a couple in town, and we were going to go to a bed and breakfast that looked pretty nice. But when we drove out to it, about 5 miles out of town, there wasn't a soul there.
It was closed.
So we drove across the river, had a beautiful drive along the Mississippi on the east side, and crossed back over at Keokuk, and stayed at this little family motel there. Tomorrow morning we'll go back in, spend the whole day probably in Nauvoo. You hungry? Okay. Do you want to walk over and take a look at that little Mexican place? That's a good place. I'll shut this thing off. See you in the morning. Well, it's Tuesday morning now, and we have just arrived back at the Nauvoo Visitor Center after driving back over the bridge along the Mississippi River. We'll go on inside and see their tour. This is inside the visitor center. Go ahead.
This one is called Woman Learning. By Dennis Sculptor. This one is called Passionate Woman.
Can you hear the crickets? Over here in the garden somewhere.
See all the beautiful garden flowers? That's a beautiful one. That's the biggest one in here.
And they shall also teach her children to pray and to walk uprightly before the Lord. This is Joyful Moment.
Is called Fulfillment. Can you get up close to it or zoom
Yeah,
in?
moving in pretty close.
Get the garden, how beautiful the garden is. All alone. Walk around to the next one.
All women leave a rich legacy that links past, present, and future in timeless bonds of faith in God and self, as well as service to God and others. A woman's fulfillment comes from her individual efforts and her contributions to those she loves. A woman can have a profound, lasting influence for good on her family and community. She bears, nurtures, loves, trains, and teaches her own children and family, while she blesses and uplifts many others. The good she does extends from generation to generation. She and her husband, acting as equal partners in marriage, help each of the family grow strong.
In her mother's footsteps. Let me get one of you in my camera.
Each woman is a daughter of God and is thus of infinite worth. Her potential for personal growth is great throughout her life. All through her life, each woman has opportunities to develop spiritually through prayer, scripture study, good works, and education. She enriches her family, community, and society as she enhances her own talents and contributes in and out of her home. As a wife and mother, she can know that God has provided a plan which makes it possible for her family to be together eternally.
Woman in prayer.
Wild strawberries.
Are they real?
Yeah.
Show me one.
Just
Let's see if I can see them. Hold it still. Is it ripe?
I know.
Taste it.
No. You got this? That's the biggest one here.
Okay.
Nauvoo is the birthplace of the Relief Society, the women's organization of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. It was organized in 1842 to enable women to unite and concentrate their effort to serve. Emma Smith, wife of the prophet Joseph Smith, was the first president of the organization. In the early days of the church, the Relief Society was established for the spiritual development of women. It taught them about their divinely held capacities for lifting and nurturing the lives of others, for growing spiritually and intellectually, and for developing new skills. Today, the organization continues to spiritually bless each woman. It builds faith and hope in God, emphasizes developing and exercising charity, strengthens all types of families, and enjoys a diverse membership of women with many talents and abilities. The Relief Society has a membership of millions of women in more than 125 countries and territories throughout the world. Women today still adhere to the original motto of charity never fail, as they carry out many acts of service in their homes, neighborhoods, and communities.
I want to go in and buy some postcards.
Okay.
The height of its development by the Latter-day Saints. When they began arriving here in 1839, the Latter-day Saints found a few scattered settlers living along the riverbank in a small flat area known as Commerce. Church leaders bought ample tracts of land on the flat from William and Hugh White, and land speculators Isaac Galland and Horace Hotchkiss. The Latter-day Saints laid out streets square with the compass, then divided 4-acre blocks into city lots. Other Latter-day Saint developers gradually expanded the city plat eastward toward the prairie, where farmers broke the sod to plant corn and other grains. Nauvoo became a boomtown surrounded by hundreds of acres of new farms. Homes could not be built fast enough to supply the needs of converts to the church arriving from other parts of North America and the British Isles. From the river came a steady stream of immigrants, visitors, and manufactured goods. By 1845, Nauvoo boasted 12,000 residents. In addition, Nauvoo became a thriving business community. The focus of Nauvoo life was the building of the temple. Built by the tides of time and means over 5 arduous years, it became a landmark for miles around. For Latter-day Saints, the temple held a deeper meaning. The promised spiritual blessings of the house of the Lord made Nauvoo, for them, truly a beautiful place.
Come in. Abigail, what are you doing here in Nauvoo?
Now, don't you get the wrong impression, Peter. I didn't come up here all the way from Warsaw to see you exactly. I have business here in town.
What business?
I have to buy a new barrel to put my pickles in next summer.
Well, I don't have any pickle barrels.
Well, no, I plan on picking one up at the Coopers.
Well, don't they sell barrels in Warsaw?
Well, yes, but they're too expensive there.
Oh, so you pay a boat fare of $2.50 round trip to save 25 cents on a barrel?
All right, then I did come to see you. I felt it was my obligation, seeing as we once meant a great deal to each other. You did propose to me once, you know.
Yes, I remember.
Well, I thought I should come and tell you, Ezra Tyler has asked for my hand.
Well, did you give it to him?
Oh, Peter, be serious.
Well, I guess Ezra knows a good thing when he sees it.
Is that all you're going to say?
Well, what do you want me to say?
Well, I was hoping you'd man from marrying an attractive widow with one of the largest homes in Warsaw. Has to be silly.
Well, why don't you read it and find out?
Oh, I wouldn't touch that Book of Mormon with a 10-foot pole.
Why not?
Because everyone says it's false. Even Ezra.
Oh, how would he know? Ezra can't even read.
Well, he's smart enough to listen to what other folks have to say. And Reverend Newberry says it's a pack of lies.
Has he read it?
No, and he's not going to. He says it's leading everyone astray. Peter, what good has that book ever done anyway?
Why, that book has built this town.
But this town is nothing but riffraff.
Oh, if that is drifting in here, all right. They're getting off the boats every day.
Well, thank you very much.
I didn't meet you, Abigail. I met those counterfeiters and horse thieves that come in here, hiding behind decent folks' skirts. Then everything they do gets blamed on the Mormons. It's not a shoddy town, Abigail, didn't you notice?
All I noticed was your muddy streets. I've never stepped over so many mud holes in my life.
Well, we're working on them. But the men are so busy building the temple, going on missions, that everything can't get done all at once. Have you noticed some of the nice homes?
Haven't seen a one that's any nicer than the two-story one my late husband built for me.
Well, if you'd move here to Nauvoo, I'd consider building you one even nicer than yours. Maybe even as nice as Heber Kimball's.
No, I couldn't live here among all you Mormons. I'd be afraid.
Afraid of what?
Afraid you might make me believe that silly book. What's in it that's so important?
Well, it's the second witness that Jesus is the Christ.
But I don't need a second witness. I already know he is.
Wouldn't you like to read about everything that Christ did?
I already know everything he did.
Well, did you know he came to America?
There. That proves the book is a lie.
Why?
Because if he had, he would have told people in Jerusalem he was coming here.
He did.
I've never read that.
He said to his disciples, "Other sheep I have which are not of this fold. Them also I must bring, and they shall hear my voice, and there shall be one fold and one shepherd."
That doesn't prove he came to America.
Oh, it proves he went somewhere and preached. Here, let me give you this book, and you can read about it.
There's no sense in giving it to me. I just throw it in the river.
But you could always read it to Ezra. Ought to have something to read to him.
Now you quit making light of Ezra. Just because he can't read, he's lost all of his hair, doesn't mean he isn't just as bright and good-looking as you. He certainly enjoys my cooking.
Does he like pickles?
What does that have to do with me marrying him?
Well, you said you were figuring on putting up a whole barrel full.
Now you quit trying to get my goat, Peter Caldwell. I told you those pickles weren't the main reason for me coming here. It's the pickle you're in. Why can't you be sensible and forget all this anyway? A year from now, that book will be forgotten.
Oh, no, it won't, Abigail. It would if it were false, but it's not. And 100 years from now, people will still be reading it.
Oh, Peter, I'd so hoped you'd come to your senses. That book will be proved wrong before the year is even out. And I'll be married to Ezra. And you'll feel sorry. And so will I.
You're right about me feeling sorry. But you're wrong about that book, Abigail. Someday, thousands of missionaries will carry the Book of Mormon to every nation in the world. And it'll be published in every language.
Oh, what a waste of time it has been for me to ride that steamer all the way up here.
Abigail,
Yes?
don't forget your pickle barrel.
Oh.
This is the third floor of the Masonic Hall. The dance hall area. with you. That's a ingenious gate closer, isn't it?
Tell you about the people who had this little shop and worked here. It was Lucius and Lucy Scoville. They were born in the New England states. They met and married in Ohio and were baptized there by Prophet Joseph Smith. They had 8 children, 2 boys and 6 girls. One little boy died at the age of 2 while they still lived in Ohio. They moved here and we went through all the troubles and trials that all the rest of the Mormons did. And they worked hard to build up this beautiful city along with everybody else. Lucius worked on the temple. He owned this lot here and he donated the building for the cultural hall in the corner and helped to build that. All the men had to work hard, helping each other build homes and build a temple. If they hadn't worked together, then they couldn't have succeeded. And the women did what they could do: gardening, cooking, baking, sewing, all the things women can do.
Now this is the back of the recreation or cultural hall or Masonic hall. You can see where the 3rd floor has been rebuilt and the windows in the bottom floor bricked up. This was, the top floor was removed after the saints left. It was a private residence for a while. We're going to go on a little carriage ride in just a few minutes as soon as the man comes back. Charlotte's going to get a blanket. It's a little chilly today. I guess it's around 65, 68 degrees here in the shade, out behind the bakery. This is the bakery we were just in a moment ago.
Are from Barnwell, Alberta, Canada. And that's about 40 miles from Sterling, where our daughter lives, where Blaine Hershey was raised. Don't go to or up on the top end here. The Sarah Granger Kimball home down there by the Red Roof Barn. Sarah Granger Kimball helped organize the Relief Society, the women's organization. There's about 360 acres of grass to cut. This city of Old Nauvoo, 12,000 people here, 2,500 homes all over this area. The city was laid out in 4-acre blocks, then divided into 1-acre lots. And I'll show you a real good example of a 4-acre block, a 1-acre lot as we go around. In Ripley's Believe It or Not column, he mentions this street that we're on, Main Street in Old Nauvoo. He said, Main Street in Old Nauvoo is the longest and straightest street in the world. Brownings were the inventors of the first repeating rifle. And that first rifle was built right in that shop. The Latter-day Saints went west. The Brownings set a shop up in Ogden, Utah, still operating today. That's the Pendleton home and 1-room schoolhouse. The first schoolhouse in Nauvoo. That's just 1 year since it was restored. Knight's home of 1840 and a missionary couple living in that building. Missionary couple live in that John Taylor home behind it. The church, and after the death of the prophet Joseph of Hiram in Carthage, this became church headquarters until they went west. Brigham Young built this little room on the end with the brown door is. For all the people that were coming to visit and hold meetings and whatnot, they wouldn't have to go through the main section of the house. They just go in and out of that one room. And it matches the other end of the house. Built on after it became that over here. No floor in it. The big building over there on the right is the Smith family are buried down there, including the prophet Joseph, his brother Hiram, his mother and his dad and his wife Emma, just to name a few of those 24 that are buried. Okay, on the left here is the property owned by John Taylor, the third president of the church. His house was moved up to the pig shop. You remember that corner up there? I don't know when or why it was moved up there. It was moved up there. Did I tell you that there was, I think I did, 360 acres roughly of grass to be cut around here? The missionaries do cut the grass around their house.
It's your responsibility.
Yeah. Like the missionary couple living in that building there maintain the grass around the yard. 16 boot shops. A fellow on the wagon the other day just said, my great-great-grandmother recorded in her diary that she walked all the way from Nauvoo to the Salt Lake Valley. And she wore out 6 pair of boots. I said, well, she was lucky she had 6 pair of boots. A lot of people had nothing, burlap sacks wrapped around their feet when they got out there. See how the road runs right down into the Mississippi? They did it for restoration, but they did that riser one there on the corner. I don't know, they said they were going in there and said they weren't.
This is foundations for a boot shop here.
Have a nice day. Two little buildings on the right here are missionary couples living in there. Yeah, they're air conditioned. Beautiful. Adequate. Bedroom and a bathroom upstairs. The kitchen in that building. And I said that the other day, a little kid up in the front, he said, how do you know? The mother of the prophet Joseph of the Latter-day Saints went west. She was sick and unable to go. So they bought her this place. This is where she stayed. Now we have the brickyard here on the left, and they'll show you how they made the bricks back there in 1840. There were 7 brickyards in Nauvoo. They're all up on the east hill over here. The clay back there was ideal for making bricks, so that's where they established their yards, right up here with it. In that building there is the 1-horse shed of Louis cement. Clay things back in 1840 in their hands. That building was sold after the Latter-day Saints left here on a tax sale. Okay.
That was fun. That was interesting.
This is a view of the 70s hall on Parley Street at the west end of town. I'm looking east towards it. This is Parley Street. Known as the Street of Tears. This is the street where the wagons lined up in the month of February, heading to the banks of the Mississippi River. And here they cross the river on their migration westward. Walking down Parley Street to the Mississippi. The street actually ends right in the water. Well, Sharla, I need you to test out something for me. They said that it's treating the Mississippi mud. Do you want to try it out for me and make sure?
This is Jerry testing out the Mississippi. Is it cold? What are you doing?
Way to the left. You see it? Zoom in on it.
I'm trying to zoom, but I don't even see it.
You see
Ooh,
it?
it's windy. No, I don't see it.
Okay, open your other eye.
Oh.
That's the Mississippi River barge.
Barge. Okay.
Now I'm standing with my back to the Mississippi River. We're looking almost straight east, up Parley Street. They have this little memorial we showed you a few scenes ago. Right here the Mississippi River makes a big bend around the city of Nauvoo. Yeah, I'm just going to get a picture here at the front. This is the interior of the Joseph Smith store. The upstairs second floor of the Joseph Smith store. It's obviously the original glass in these windows. It's full of the imperfections of the old Pioneer glass. Well, we're at the Nauvoo Temple site now. Just had a nice dinner up the street at a little restaurant that had a going out of business sale. All sandwiches 99 cents. We had barbecued beef. Looking up the street, Main Street of, well, this is the modern town of Nauvoo, the business district. We'll go into the temple site now. Okay, let's go in here, honey. When we were here 20 years ago, this is about the only thing where they had a visitor center. It's changed so much since then. It's a little model of the Nauvoo temple, one of the sunstones. Not sure if that's an original, we'll find out in a minute.
Hello. Do you know if that's the original stone there?
That's the original sunstone still in existence that we know of. One of them is in Washington, D.C. and Smithsonian. The other one is here in Nauvoo in storage. They're going to display it so they get a museum built. That's the bottom of them. The moonstones, and that's the replica.
Red brick building across the street here looks like it's an original building. What is that?
That is the Clark store. Raymond Clark was the one that built that, and it was a store during the 1840s when he sold it to another person and they converted it to a hotel.
Well, now this is being recorded at about 1:45 in the morning, a Thursday night, or Wednesday night, Thursday morning. After we left Nauvoo, we had a delicious dinner over at the Nauvoo Hotel, and then drove east through Carthage. And where was it we ended up, Sharla? Over in, we had a hotel last night.
In Ohio.
Oh, Indiana, wasn't it? Be back in a minute, don't go away. Oh yes, we had a little powwow and figured it out. It was Urbana-Champaign area in Illinois. And then today we drove across Illinois, across Ohio, and across most of Pennsylvania. We're at a little coast-to-coast campground near Hershey, Pennsylvania. Tomorrow we're going to drive over and hopefully the Hershey factory will be open and we can have a tour or whatever they have over there. We have our little camper all hooked up here with our bed and our little heater going. And it's real cold outside tonight, but it's toasty in here.
Okay, I just wanted to show the rest of our van. There's Jerry sitting in the front of it. Got the chair turned around and the window all blocked out. There's the driver's seat. It's really quite roomy. And here's the beginning of the bed. There's my feet. It's time for bed now.
Well, it's Thursday morning now. We had a real good night's sleep here in our little mobile home on wheels. And this morning we're going to go over to the Hershey chocolate factory and drive around the area a little bit. Yeah, Charlotte's happy because it's how many years that we've been waiting to come here, Charlotte? 20?
Probably 21.
It'll be our luck that it'll be closed, but we'll come back in 21 more years.
I like to see the Amish.
We'll have to find a visitor center or something.
We're right in the heart of Amish country.
Are they the ones that have the little horse and buggies that they pull around? And we'll see you later. Bye, Shar.
Bye.
This is a secluded little campground we stayed at. As far as we can see, we're the only ones in this whole loop. There's about 5 or 6 loops. Place to ourselves. Sharla's just gone inside to buy some stamps and mail off some postcards. She'll be out in a second. We can smell cocoa roasting because the wind carries along from the factory right across the river here. This tower is part of the Hershey amusement park. It's closed today, of course. Coming out now. Over here, Sharla. Sharla.
Hershey, Pennsylvania. What do you think it smells like here? We're at the post office. Got some stamps for postcards.
Were they the right
Yeah,
amount?
and it smells like chocolate. Chocolate.
Well, that looks like the Hershey headquarters up on the hill. We're here at what they call Chocolate Town, or Chocolate World. We'll go over. See the visitor center now.
Go in.
Uh-huh.
May I have your attention, please? May I have your attention, please? From Kieran Cooper, please call 4900. Kieran Cooper, please call 4900. Thank you.
That's the size Sharla wants to buy as a souvenir. She wonders if they have a little bit larger one.
Hershey, Pennsylvania is the home of the great American chocolate bar and the Hershey family of chocolate bars. Regularly arriving at the Hershey plant are huge quantities of sugar, milk, and cocoa beans, the three most important ingredients in milk chocolate. Now, let's go inside the plant and take a look at the fascinating process of manufacturing chocolate products. The process begins here at the plate site, as the cocoa beans arrive in boxcars and are unloaded into silos for storage. The beans then leave the silos and begin the first step in the making of chocolate, screening and cleaning. After the beans are cleaned, they are carefully weighed and counted. This is the basis for computing the proportions of each kind of bean to be used. Cocoa beans from different parts of the world have different flavor characteristics, and the blending machines on your left combine the various types of beans to produce that familiar Hershey's taste. Currents of air heated to more than 400 degrees Fahrenheit pass over the beans, enhancing their flavor.
It's hot in here. This is the roaster that we're in.
Winnowers, and are used to separate the shell from the center of the bean. Air separators winnow out the shells, leaving fragments called nibs, which are now ready to begin the milling process. The nibs are passed through milling machines, as you see on your left, and a grinding process releases a liquid traditionally called chocolate liquor. This liquid has no alcohol content, of course, and is the liquid from which all chocolate is made. In the Hershey plant, quality is of primary importance. At control consoles like this one on your left, operators constantly monitor the process to make sure that just the right amount of milling is done before the liquid is sent on its way to become the fine Hershey's product. The press seen on your right is the machine that makes this part of the process possible. Console. It is here that the basic ingredients are brought together and mixed in just the right proportions to create the special taste of Hershey's milk chocolate. We are now entering the refining area, which consists of the processes called conching and grinding. On your right is a rotary conch, and to the left, a series of roll refining machines. The refining process stirs, rolls, and grinds the chocolate mixture until it reaches that Hershey sweetness. Of course, the other ingredients used in making a chocolate bar are treated as carefully as the milk chocolate itself. Only the highest quality almonds, after harvesting with a tree-shaking device, are selected, sorted, and delivered to the Hershey plant. There, the almonds are roasted to keep flavor and are placed in the bar molds. Dropped in precise quantities and quickly cooled to produce the famous shape of Hershey's plant. Over time, amazing. On the right is the completely automatic. And of course, the final result, the great American chocolate bar, and the family of Hershey's chocolate products that have been enjoyed by generations of American families since 1894.
Best part, Sharla. Over here, they give away the free sample boxes. There's a 2-pound block of everything that they make. Only thing is, only one to a customer, and you have to carry it yourself. It weighs 75 pounds.
You get 2 of these.
Well, are you glad you came, Sharla? It was, what, 20 years late?
Of course, 20 years ago, you got a free 10-pound bar.
Okay.
How about we take one of these? Only $50.
Sharla, I think on the other side, where they had all those chocolate bars, those small ones, it's all you can carry free, I think. We are in Mannheim, Pennsylvania. Stopped to have dinner here at this little restaurant. Just about. Well, what are you having, Sharla Jane?
Has to with my mouth.
Wait. See, I told you that one before, didn't I?
Stuffed pork chop and green beans.
And I'm having the spaghetti and meatballs. Cute little restaurant here.
Free haircuts.
This is Intercourse, Pennsylvania. Yeah. Sharla says Joy would love these. This is the cow family. I guess the cow and bull family it must be, huh? Well, our battery pack ran out for the video recorder just after we entered that little store. After we went through the store, we went through several little towns, saw some more of the Amish people, their horses and buggies, dressed up. I guess they're dressed in their normal clothes, but they look like they're dressed up to us in their bonnets and their old-time clothes. We decided to go to a different campground tonight. There was another one a little bit farther east, a little closer to Philadelphia from where we stayed last night. So although we had signed up for 2 days at the other one, we came over to this second one instead. This is near, what's the name of the town? Honey?
Philadelphia?
Honey?
Oh, this Honey. I don't remember.
What's that paper that says?
Brook.
Honeybrook, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we'll drive over into Philadelphia. Sharla would like to go back and see her old neighborhood again. I'd kind of like to see Grandma Erdman's house, see how it's changed since we sold it, what was it, 10 years ago, Sharla?
Probably.
We're back here and moved Grandma home and sold it. Be nice to go see it. And then we'll go up to Upper Blacketty and cross the river into Frenchtown, New Jersey, where we'll stay with Eleanor tomorrow night. And then Saturday morning up into New York. So good night to you. Bye-bye, honey. 4653 Horrocks Street. That's where Grandma Erdman lived. We finally made it into Philadelphia. I'm going to walk around Sharla's old neighborhood here for a minute. This is looking from across the street. And we're looking straight south on Horrocks Street. Get out of the road here. Don't know if anybody's home or if we could see the old place.
There used to be lawn here. There used to be lawn here.
Yep. This is the home where the Gordons used to live. And Grandma's house. It's changed quite a bit. We look through the window, it looks like they've taken out some walls, opened it up a little bit. This was Grandma's room up here at the top. The siding, I think, has been added since we were here last. This was grass when Grandma lived here. Those little glass windows go back into the old workroom under the porch. The lady that Sharla was talking to knew Grandma Erdman and Miss Gordon. She filled us in a little bit about what's happened on the street in the last 10 years. This is the back alley now. They tell us that the lady told us that there was a nice deck where Grandma's place used to be.
There's a garage.
Oh yes, this is a big... Is this it? Or maybe this one over here. Yeah, I think this is it. This is the deck on the back of Grandma's house. It was just an old porch before. And she had a garage here.
Look, they put a door here.
Uh-huh.
Where the garage used to be. This used to be her garage.
Yes. Hello, kitty.
And they filled in where the back door came out right there.
Kitty, 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 kitty.
See how that used to come out?
Look at the cat.
Kitty.
Pet her.
Hello. Hello. You want to be petted? You're not sure, are you? Aw, that's so cute too. Aw,
It's like the little kitty's come over to be petted some more. She's brushing up against my legs now. Bye-bye, kitty. Yeah, bye-bye. We'll see you later.
And there was a girl there named Elizabeth we used to play with.
You remember this little walkway?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Our backyard's just right there. Believe it or not, in this yard right here, these people had a St. Bernard dog.
There's a pretty kitty up there, Sharla.
In this yard.
No St. Bernard now.
We used to climb up on these roofs. And the garages. We climb up there, we play here. I wish Linda could see this. You
We'll
got to
show her.
film this for Linda.
You think she'd remember it?
Yeah, show her, film this. In the alley. Our ball would go on the roof and we climbed up there. And he'd yell at us to get off the roof. Here's my house. Oh my word, it's changed. Wow.
Is this your house?
This is but they've changed it. In fact, this all used to be a hedge. And there used to be a hedge growing on it. My dad used to hate to cut them. Oh, my dad would love to see this too. Oh, it's not very big, is it?
I guess that bay window's been added since you were here. And the deck.
That's the kitchen. Yeah, the deck too.
Want to walk around the front? How about these houses on this side? Do they look the same to you?
Really parts of the store.
We're approaching the front of our yard now. What was your address, Sharla? What was your address?
1249 Oak Street.
Where was your room?
Well, it was there for a while, and then it was also in the middle bedroom, or the back bedroom for a while. There's our porch.
You say you had a piano in there?
This is the elementary school where Linda and I went. Frankfurt Elementary. How much are you getting? I'm up in India lettuce. I used to play jump rope over there where those kids are. Ooh, it's cold.
That's the Frankfurt Avenue L that you can hear in the background. this
That
place?
little grocery store used to be there. This is Joseph's. It was a toy store. And Linda and I used to bring our 50 cents or whatever and buy gifts.
Kelly's gonna get her pretzel here. This is the entrance to the Frankfurt station. This is the L. Yeah. Stay where you are. How's it taste? Hi, Walt. All dressed up. Yeah, this is Walt and Eleanor's house.
Yeah, we just had the old furniture. I fixed it up. The dollars, everyone got really well with it. It isn't with it, bamboo. And so I redone that. And then we took it out and got new. Had them redone this year.
You like it? Is it darker green and white? Was it ever darker green?
No, not darker green. I don't think so. Well, not since I've been here. This is this color. I've painted it. I've been doing the painting.
Okay. You're on, Sharla Jane.
Yeah. Okay, I'm on. Get me off. Yeah. Hey, before we go, maybe we can see if that temple loads down.
Okay.
Oh, no. No. I bet it is. Probably is. Let's see if that's done before we go.
Look at that black kitty right there, Sharla Jane.
Yeah, I'll make sure you have it in your car when you leave.
Yeah, you can have it. That and about 10 other cats.
That's our big...
This is Frenchtown. It's a quaint little tiny town. We're on Main Street looking at their shops. Half of them are closed. There's an antique store. We are walking along the old canal towpath. Looks like the canal has long since been filled in. This is part of a canal walkway, sort of like a park. It goes along the area of the old canal. As we were driving up here, there were still a lot of places where the canal was there and full of water. Hardly navigable at this
in this age. So it looks with a little work, some places could be made navigable again. The locks were repaired. I don't know what this is. It says it's a blue fish. We'll find out in a minute, won't we? What is it?
It's a ladies' clothing store.
So this old mill looks like a mill wheel, grinding wheel, millstone. We're back to 4th Street and Eleanor's house after a walk of about a whole mile and a half. Get a little exercise in today. We're in downtown Manhattan. We've had an adventurous morning. Of our theater. We went over to the LDS Church Center and had a missionary give us a nice tour. You want to look up and down the street here a little bit, Sharla, while I'm talking? The visitor center director for the church here is on his 3rd mission. He's been a missionary in Ireland, a mission president, and called to be the director of the visitor center. He was a nice tour of the branches of the got a little bite to eat for lunch, and got about 45 minutes before we have to get our tickets to the show, and into the theater, and then off to the tavern on the green to tickets. I'm having the time of my life. How are you liking it, Sharla?
Well, I'm not real excited about Newark traffic. It's scary.
We had a parking meter, only one we could find, and it was out of order. But I banged a little bit and made it work, but I've bloodied up my knuckles here. Well, actually we can read signs, but we didn't have a lot of choice. We had some unexpected developments yesterday. After we came back from Tavern on the Green, where we had our prime rib dinner, we went to another show. We went to see Les Mis Rob, and drove up to New York after that. To upstate New York, that is. We had a campground picked out, and we were very late arriving. In fact, we were there at 2:30 in the morning. We couldn't get in, it was all locked up. We're just about a quarter mile from the campground. We pulled into this little spot here. I pulled in forward first of all and decided I should back in. I missed the bridge, and the wheel went down into the ditch. It took us about an hour of good hard work, jacking and laying rocks to get out. Sharla's still asleep. It's about 9:30. We're going to go down the road about a quarter mile to where the actual campground is. It looks like a nice one, and we plan to shower and get cleaned up there, and then go up the road towards probably Vermont today. See you later.
It's recording.
Okay, after getting out of Les Mis last night around 11, we drove up through this little corner of New Jersey, up on Highway 17, up to this, let's see where we are here in New York, Highway 17, and then up on Highway 208, up here to a place called, it's like Accord, A-C-C-O-R-D, That's where we're camped now. Probably we'll go up this way towards Albany, Schenectady, and Highway 4, Hudson Falls over into Vermont.
Yay,
and,
Vermont.
Over into Sharon, Vermont, to the Propolis Point. Maybe
Okay.
we have to play it by ear.
Okay. Jerry's getting the van all organized. Over there are the showers and restrooms. Everything here is very green and it's very misty right now. It's not really raining, it's just misty. Nice beautiful forest. And over there they have some swans, I think it is. A lake. Maybe some peacocks. The noises we heard sounded like peacocks.
It's Monday, September 28th, and this is our motel in Rutland, Vermont. We're going to drive over the hills this morning into Windsor County, where Joseph Smith was born. We'll see that monument a little later this morning.
These are some of the hills in Vermont. I don't know if you can see the beautiful colors or not. Along the road we see some little shops that are all decorated with pumpkins and everything.
We're at a little tourist trap right in the end of Rutledge, Vermont, where we stayed last night. Charla's going to go in and buy some postcards and things. Having fun, Char?
We're in Vermont.
These are chainsaw sculptures. Right over here under this little pavilion they make them. The man with the chainsaw's not here today, looks like.
Some more of Vermont just as we're driving along.
What is that thing?
Turn it back into a liquid.
What time of the year do they harvest the sap?
It's right around in the springtime. It's probably it starts around April.
In the spring.
Sometimes in March.
Uh-huh.
March and April. Usually get about 8 weeks, 6 weeks.
Yeah.
It doesn't last long.
Then you just boil down the
boiling.
sap and boil it down.
Yep.
And it ends up being the sugar here.
Yep.
Huh? Thank you.
Yeah.
We're approaching Joseph Smith's birthplace. This is just some of the countryside, just right around there. Uh-huh.
I soon found that the account of my first vision had excited a great deal of prejudice against me among professors of religion, and was the cause of great persecution. It caused me serious reflection then, and often has since, how very strange it was that an obscure boy of a little over 14 years of age, and one too who was doomed to the necessity of obtaining a scanty maintenance by his daily labor, should be thought a character of sufficient importance to attract the attention of the great sects of the day.
We're at the Joseph Smith Monument. How many tons did they say that weighed? 100? I think so.
This little spot here is the original cabin site. This is the visitor center where we had the missionary tour, looking down towards our parking lot. I don't know if you can hear it, but they've got tabernacle choir music on loudspeakers throughout the area. Getting just a little tinge of color on some of the trees. cottage straddled the county line, and the door of it was facing Windsor County, so that's why they decided that the birthplace was Sharon Township, Windsor County. We're on a little drive out in back of the monument now, down where's the original turnpike and so forth. This would be much like it was in Joseph Smith's time. What you doing, Sharla? We'll drive down Solomon Mack home. Looks to me like he lived in a cave. town of Turnbridge. We just stopped at this little roadside to have a bite to eat.
Still in New Hampshire, aren't we?
We're in New Hampshire, just across from Vermont, New Hampshire.
Oh, we're in New Hampshire. Campground now at Lake Winnipesaukee. Jerry's sitting there planning out what we're going to do in a little while. A beautiful campground in a forest. And the people that we checked in with have a delightful Maine accent. We're here at Lake Winnipesaukee Campground.
Squam Lake is also known as Golden Pond. So we're on Golden Pond.
We're on Golden Pond, not on Lake Winnipesaukee.
Here's Holderness. Now this is near Lake Winnipesaukee. We were at a different lake where our campground was. The Indian grave by the lake, made immortal by Whittier's poem, 1808-1955. Well, what do you think, Sharla? Is it beautiful? Well, our battery ran out last night and we missed some of the Lake Winnipesaukee at the Wolfboro area. We charged up our batteries last night. We're now at Franconia Notch. This is the Flume Visitor Center area. And we'll be walking up towards the Flume in a minute. Kind of a cloudy, blustery day. With patches of sunlight that accent the leaves when the sun shines on them. Okay, up the hill we go, Shar. This is called Table Rock. It's just a bare cave. We're on the little nature trail walk back to the main entrance to the notch, the flume. We could have taken the bus back, but this little walk is pretty.